Hello and welcome back to my RC channel. I'm AndyRC and today I'm checking out the LiDiRC L15 Wi-Fi FPV quadcopter. Now today's video is going to be as much of a test for the quadcopter as it is my new phone. So since 2013 I have been using the Google Nexus phone and it has been fantastic. It's been my daily driver and it's been brilliant for this channel and brilliant as a daily phone. However, I have upgraded it to this one, which is the Pixel XL, and there's only one reason that I have upgraded it, and that is the Nexus 5 no longer gets Android updates, and I have found to run a channel like this it's always best to have the latest version of Android, so I went for it. Now at the moment it's not been that much of an upgrade. Yeah, the camera's a little bit better, but Android 7.1 is very buggy. However, I'm going to see how it copes with this Wi-Fi FPV, because this phone basically is just going to screen record the video on this drone. Yeah, so it's not been a huge upgrade. However, one thing that I have noticed is the battery life on this is fantastic. My Nexus 5 would run out of battery at about 5 PM. Okay, it's old. This one, I go to bed and it's still got 73% battery left on it, and I'm a fairly heavy user, so that has been the great thing about this. And that the screen's bigger as well, and that is better for this sort of stuff. Probably not better as a daily phone, but I'm using the phone more and more for RC stuff rather than normal every day-to-day stuff, so I'm going to check that out. So back to the quadcopter, as I mentioned, it's Wi-Fi FPV, and I'm never a big fan of Wi-Fi FPV. It does have its plus points but also its negatives as well. The biggest plus point, of course, is that everyone's got a mobile device of some kind, either iOS or Android, and you don't need a monitor with it. You just put your phone on this holder here that it comes with and then tap into the Wi-Fi code that the camera creates, and then you've got an FPV monitor, so that is great. And some people say, why is Wi-Fi FPV not very good when the top of the range drones such as the Mavic and the DJI Phantom use Wi-Fi FPV? Well, they kind of do, but the way that those work is that the transmitter receives the video signal on those, and then it uses either a USB cable or Wi-Fi to relay it back to the phone, and basically your phone just becomes a monitor and GPS device. Whereas with this sort of thing, it's actually using the Wi-Fi signal of the phone to get the video feed, and we all know that Wi-Fi runs out at about 30 feet or so, so I'm expecting that to be the same with this. So it's good because you can just stick your phone on it. It's also good because it's not analog video, it's digital, so you won't be getting any of the lines across the screen when the video breaks up. However, the range will be pretty bad and you'll have to keep it in close all of the time. So this quadcopter feels and looks very much like the Syma X5C, so maybe it's a copy of that. So we've got this Wi-Fi antenna coming out the back here, and it's a 720p camera, and the camera removes underneath the little button there, the same as the Syma model. It's got this wire that goes up to it, the quadcopter, to power it. We've got an on and off switch underneath, and we have got geared motors and some LEDs. There's a battery in the back. It's a 1-cell battery and it's 550 milliamps, and it fits in there nicely, but it looks like it could take a slightly bigger battery. It's using a micro lossy connector, so I can use my hobby grade charger with it, which is nice. And it seems like a really nice quadcopter. You get spare props in the box, a screwdriver and prop protectors as well, and these legs which you have to screw on. Quite a nice package really. Just going to put that on the floor because we've got the transmitter here. Now the transmitter has got loads of buttons on it, so I have bought the instructions here because I can never remember what each one of them does. I wish they would label up the buttons. They have labeled up the transmitter here saying discover your sky, so while they were doing that it'd been nice if they had put the functions on the buttons there. So it's a mode 2 transmitter and it takes 4 AA batteries there. So let's see what these buttons do here. So we've got an indicator light here, of course, and then 3D inversion they call this button here, and that is going to be flips So we've got multifunctional buttons here, and these are always difficult to remember while flying. So this button here, it says a short press is 1 key to rise/down, so I guess that's a quick takeoff button, but a long press is 1 key return. I hate 1 key return because the quadcopter returns to you in a 1 key way. It uses the compass, tries to manipulate it, but all it basically does is pitch backwards with the onboard compass. There's no GPS on there. So we've got trims down here, and let's see this side, speed switching, so we've got different rates up there. I'll have to check that out. And then this button again, multifunctional. It says here a short press turns the lights on and off, and a long press is head-free mode, so headless mode there. And it says here as well that the trim for the throttle turns on and off video recording. I imagine that's for a different model because I'm going to be using the app to record the video. So what I need to do next is bind the quadcopter to this and then tap into the Wi-Fi on here and use the LiDiRC app to get the video feed. So I'm just going to set that up now. Now I don't know whether this is one of those aircraft where you have to turn the quadcopter on first and then the transmitter. They seem to be really random at that, so let's try that out. I'm going to go for turning the quadcopter on first. So it's got this button on underneath here. It's freezing out here today. I can barely feel my hands. It looks like only one of the LEDs is flashing. You see there? I don't know if that's anything to do with because it's not bound, but let's turn the transmitter on and see what happens with the rest of the lights. Lift the throttle up and down. We've got the beeps. Yes, it looks like one of the LEDs isn't working. We've got one that side and one the other side. Well, I'm not too bothered about that. In fact, I think, did it say this button can turn the LEDs off? Let's try that. A short press turns the LEDs off. So I might keep them off there. Okay, let's see if I can go into the app and connect to the Wi-Fi. So I've got the brightness fully up here. Let's go into Wi-Fi. Put on airplane mode there, so Wi-Fi settings. It's found LiDiRC. So it looks like it's connected to it. So let's open the app and see if we've got any video. So it's saying that there's no internet access there. Don't ask again. Oh, look at that nice graphic. So we've got some settings here. 720p start. I'm just going to press play here. And it looks like I have got some video. Now it's a sunny day here today, but it's cold and it's windy. So I've seen this app before. I don't know if that's going to come up on the camera, but yeah, very similar app than I have seen in the past. Now it does look like you can fly the quadcopter off the phone, but really with a transmitter I wouldn't do that. You're not going to get great signal out of it. So all that I'm going to do today is just use it for video recording. So we have got a camera button there and a video camera button there, and we've got a different rates, but that's going to be for if you're using the phone. And they've got like a gyro button as well, so I guess you can play about with that. I'm just gonna press the record button here, and it says that recording, which is quite good because we can use it as a timer as well, hopefully. And that is just going to store the video onto the phone. There's no SD card on the quadcopter or anything like that. So if the phone stutters, our video will stutter on here. So usually I find that the lowest rates aren't good enough for me, so I think that one was rates, wasn't it? So we got 3 different rates there. Let's go for a takeoff before my hands completely freeze up. That's a really nice throttle there. It throttled up really smoothly. You can see how windy it is today. So that is knocking it about quite a lot. So I'm really fighting against the wind here. Nice and quiet. Just looking at the video. and it looks like it's at a slight angle. Is the camera at an angle? Let's see. I mean, the camera will only really go on one way, so I think it's just because it's battling with the wind. Let's just bring it down for a landing and see if there's a problem with that camera. If it's not quite level or something. It looks level to me. So let's see what it's like on here again. Just stop the recording and try again. Yeah, look at that. Look when you throttle up. That's really nice there, really nice and accurate. So it does look like the camera's slightly lopsided to me. Maybe it's the way that the lens has been put into it. Okay, let's go for a flip, which I think is this button here. Yeah, it just flips quite nicely. The video is still connected, but I haven't really sent it away from us. Again, with a Wi-Fi FPV quad, you can't really do FPV off the screen. I'm trying, but we have quite a narrow field of view here, maybe about 90 degrees, something like that. And if it disconnects, I'm not sure if it's going to reconnect. It just flips quite nicely. It flies just like the SEMA X5. It looks like the video is still connected, so let's try fly it around a bit. It doesn't look like it's jerking much, but we'll see. And I'll put the video over the top and you'll be able to see what it's like. Yeah, it does look like it's stuttering on the phone, and I hope that's not the phone doing that. Otherwise it's back to the Nexus 5. You know what I thought was interesting is the microphone on the Nexus 5 is better than the one on this. I'm not sure if it's the microphone, but the software. Definitely a lot of background noise on the microphone of the XL. The video hasn't cut out yet though. Just say that's not bad at all, really. I've had much bigger models claiming much better specs cut out by now. I just hope that video is recording. So, shall we try that one key to take off thing? If it'll let me. So I think that was this button here. So hold it down, was it? For like a couple of seconds. No? Where's the instructions gone? Oh, a short press. A short press is to rise, and a long press is one key return. I hate one key return. Let's try short press, see what happens. Short press. Nothing. Is that because it was in like one key return mode? Oh, lights are flashing when I'm pressing that, but nothing's happening, so nope, doesn't seem to work unless I'm doing it wrong. I can't see why it wants an automatic takeoff anyways when you don't have a spring-loaded throttle. So let's see how far until that video cuts out. There is a slight delay on the video and the camera is pointing to the ground, but that is because it's such a windy day. I hope you're able to hear me okay. I do have a wind deflector on my camera. But you know, this FPV is adequate because the quadcopter is quite small, so you'll be flying at line of sight anyways, and as soon as it sort of goes out of line of sight range, you can't see it anyway to fly it. So the FPV is actually staying connected for as far as you can fly at line of sight, which is pretty impressive, I have to say. A nice looking thing, this. It looks like I've got some lights flashing at the back, so let's try and take it far away. See, that's about as far as I'd want to take it. It looks like the video's stuttering, but it's not completely cutting out. That's pretty good. I think I'm gonna run out of battery soon though. So not the longest of flight times with this that I've been used to recently with the bigger quadcopters, but this is just a 1-cell model. Yeah, look at that. Still getting the FPV feed. It's a little bit jerky. Oh, those clouds look full of rain. I need to get this flight done. Oh, there we go. Batteries ran out. So it says on here that that was recording for 5 minutes, and then I think it was probably like another minute as well before I started the recording again. So perhaps a 6-minute flight with it. Not too bad. And I'm quite surprised with how far the FPV worked. Okay, there's a little bit of a delay on it. Not too bad though, I have to say. I think the camera's a little bit overexposed because it's a sunny day here and the grass is just sort of washed out over there. Well, there you go. That is my review of the LiDiRC L15. I'll put a link in the description if you wish to get one. And I have to say as well, the phone performed pretty well. It was a little bit jerky, but I think that might be down to the FPV feed rather than the phone itself. So as always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.